Hello, it's Gray.
Hello, it's Crystal.
And this is West Asian Beauties, a supernatural commentary podcast where I, someone who has seen this show many times.
And I, someone who only knows the show through social media, discuss every single episode of Supernatural from start to finish. Also, we are both Asian.
Both Asian. For today's episode, we are discussing Season 6, Episode 14, Mannequin 3, The Reckoning, written by Eric Carmelo and Nicole Snyder, directed by Jano Swart.
New director,
and he is going to be around a little bit. Mm-hmm. Apparently he has episodes until season 10, but like just one per episode.
One per season?
Yes, one per season. He directed LARP and the Real Girl, an important episode.
Yeah.
He directed
Thin Man, an unimportant episode.
But important nonetheless. Paper Moon, which is a wonderful restaurant. Do you know? Is there a Paper Moon in the United States?
Not that I know of. Let me look up Paper Moon.
It's
restaurant.
A cafe. They have
cafe.
Wonderful. I think it's a Japanese restaurant, but they have, you know how like a lot of Japanese restaurants have like French inspired dessert for some reason, and these are like they have like crepe cakes. If you remember my last birthday, I was like, I'm getting a crepe cake for my birthday. It was from this cafe.
I see.
Wonderful place. Yeah. So that's a little bit of lore for me. Mm-hmm. This episode aired in Feb 18, and our episode is gonna come out in Feb 14. So we're catching up with Supernatural.
That's true. We're on the schedule.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone listening.
These writers, this is only their second episode after You Can't Handle the Truth. So a lot of newbies here.
Well, Eric Carmelo, as you know, is so important to us. And Nicole Snyder. They're like a combo through the end, I think.
Yeah, they're writing partners.
Yeah, and they wrote Dogline Afternoon.
Yeah.
So vital.
Their thing is just that they write deeply unserious episodes.
You never know. What if Dogline Afternoon really is such a good episode? I have been saying it is.
It can be deeply unserious at the same time.
This episode doesn't ring a bell for you, I don't think.
No.
But
I don't think I was aware of a single thing that happened in it. For good reason, I think.
Well, nothing happens, first and foremost. I think it's just a little bit so corny.
I mean, a lot happens regarding the Deanlisa storyline. So if we knew people who were invested in that, we would assume that would come up. But
yeah, but you know,
I mean, I guess I've seen the clip of her like opening the door in her date outfit just in a people think she's hot way, but I feel like that's all I've seen of this episode.
Maybe you've seen it in an AMV, just like they do in the middle of this episode.
Oh my god!
So iconic. So iconic.
I couldn't believe that was happening.
I was like, remember when we kept on insulting the road so far this past few apps?
Yeah, we didn't know how good we had it.
Yeah, no, it's because they were serving their parallelism powers for this moment. They were reserving their energy for this thing, and that's so important.
Is it?
It was so stupid. But like many things in this episode are like, what are we doing here? The case
made no sense.
The case was so stupid. I loved the twist of the case.
Oh, I do think it was fun that it was the kidney.
Wonderful that it was a kidney.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and then Dean accidentally totally murders that woman.
Also, this episode is reminiscent to Yellow Fever. Isn't it?
In terms of, like, people bullying one person
Yeah,
to
bullying
death.
one person.
Though I would say that her falling and hitting her head and instantly dying
No, yeah.
is different.
No, because what I was dreading was they do something similar to yellow fever, where they're like, oh, this victim is the ghost, therefore. But they actually handle it with, like, a form of complexity this episode. They were like...
Is a form of complexity Dean accidentally killing someone and then the ghost being like, I'm so sad, I'm gonna ghost kill myself?
I think the complexity is, like, Sam and Dean going, what the hell? What the hell is this? What the fuck are we even doing here?
No.
Like, I think that's super fun. This episode, it's one of those episodes that while you're watching it, you're like, what is this? But the more you think about it after, you're like, that was fine. I enjoyed, and I did enjoy.
Speak for yourself.
No, yeah. I think I am mistaking my personal experiences for general ones. And
yeah.
what else can we do as people?
I mean, I can say about this episode that I laughed a lot.
I did laugh a lot.
Something that's joyful.
Yeah. When Sam was like, something in you that is of her, I was like, yes! It's gonna be a transplant thing! I was so excited.
Yeah.
And when she got fucking stabbed in the stomach, I was like, yes!
I think stabbed in the kidney specifically was what they were going for.
That's true.
Just on accident through a shard of glass. That's Dean's fault.
And, I mean, I just didn't like it because it didn't look like the stab went through fully. And your kidneys are in the back. So, like, she should have been stabbed in the back. Like, lower back.
So true.
Yeah. That's why if you're having lower back pain and you think it may not just be regular lower back pain, get a checkup or something. I don't know, recommendation.
Yeah.
This is not
PSA.
official health advice. We start the episode. We have Lisa in the dance sequence, and that's like pretty much the only thing that is of relevance. But like a fascinating thing is there is a there is a like cold open to this episode, but it like split in two because we pick up where we left off last episode, and Sam is on the floor and Dean's shaking him awake, and he's there, he's lying there. Maybe he's dead, who knows. Well, we know because he wakes up like a minute later. He's there having fun. He's not having fun. He's there, he gets hauled up, etc., etc. Then we go directly to this science lab. And it is like... later, it's revealed that it's a college science lab. Which is a little bit wild to me.
Oh, I could tell.
No, I mean, it felt very high schooly is the vibe, you know? Like later they make a comment about how they don't really dissect anything in there.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's a high school place, but it's not. It's a university. And it's like vital to the plot that it was. Okay, fine. Is a college different from university, like in the United States? I know that's different in the UK.
I think college refers to an undergraduate institution and a university refers to the whole institution, including the undergrad and graduate schools, if both exist.
So what's up with the UK? What are they doing over there? Important questions.
I don't know.
Yeah. Shocker that we're not both British. There's a guy who's mopping the floor. There's a fucking mannequin behind him that's like a human,
like an anatomy dummy?
Anatomy figure, yeah. And this mannequin has big, wet, beautiful eyes. And his eyes start following the janitor around the room. And then the janitor's head gets sliced open. And he notices as the blood drips out on the floor. He starts screaming. And then he gets attacked by the fucking mannequin. R.I.P.
We cut to outside, and Sam and Dean are chatting about Sam's whole passing out thing. You know, Dean's trying to make him feel better with Joe Grub and some kind of mysterious pills that Sam doesn't want to take.
What is a Joe?
Joe is coffee.
Ooh. Oh yeah, it's Cup of Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Why? What an ominous thing to say now that I think about it. Cup of Joe?
Because you think it means somebody killed somebody named Joe?
Yeah.
To Dean, it was like a 2 to 3 minute pass out. To Sam, he says that it felt like a week. He should not be this calm right now, I think. But Supernatural is famously the person was in hell for 200 years and they come out completely normal show, so...
To be fair, Sam did not come out completely normal. Like, that is the entire point of... Well,
yeah.
Not the entire point, but most of the point of season 6 and 7.
Yeah, if we view Sam as not just his soul. Or, well, okay, like, or you just mean that, yeah, he will be going through struggles and such in the future as well.
Yeah. I do wonder because, like, heaven doesn't seem to have a time. Does it? I mean, they make that argument in season 15. It's such a fucking stupid fucking ending.
What do you
As
mean
we
by
all know.
a time?
Like, there's no, like, equivalence.
Oh, like, it's not like I was in heaven for this long and it felt like this long.
Because, like, heaven is just a rotation of memory, so it's not like you can gauge how long or whatever. But, like, purgatory is the same amount of time. Mm-hmm. Which is, like, very fun. It's a fun idea that purgatory is basically Earth on a different plane.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Heaven should be faster then. I guess it would feel faster because you forget each memory as soon as it passes to the next one to keep you entertained, I assume.
Yeah, but what if the memory is good but the experience is bad?
Like...
I feel like you need to have the knowledge that you're reliving a memory for memories to be good, right?
Is that true?
Like, what if your good memory is like an afternoon that you think back fondly on because you don't have that friend anymore? But it's not like a particularly fun one.
Okay, so like you were having a horrible time and the friend was mean to you, but it's a good memory in retrospect.
No, like,
they probably
what I
just
mean
wouldn't
is like...
pick that one.
It's just a normal time. You're just having a normal time. But it's the retrospect of it all. It's like, wow, remember those afternoons we spent as children? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they probably just don't pick those ones, then I don't know.
Wow. What horrible choices are they making in this show?
But yeah, Sam's like, well, I didn't enjoy feeling like I was being tortured the worst that anybody ever has in the entire universe for a week, but I'm fine. And he acts totally fine for the rest of the episode. And Dean's saying Sam needs to stop kicking around in his past because if the wall breaks again, he could die, and also that sucked. And Sam's like, no, like, Dean, I might have done who knows what, and you want me to just forget about it? And Dean advises that he shove it down and let it come out in spurts of violence and alcoholism because it works for him.
That's a wild thing to say.
Yeah.
And I understand that the concept of violence, it's like killing an evil monster who's so evil and a monster. But it's still a wild thing to say, I would say.
Yeah, agreed. No, I don't know. I'm trying to think about the way that violence plays a role in Dean's life. Like, mostly just through hunting. Sometimes he yells at people. Like, I don't really know.
And Sam, like, just, he's like, who give a shit? Like, Dean said this and he was like, you're right, Dean. What's that about?
I mean, Sam says yeah, sure, which isn't like enthusiastic agreement.
Well, he says that sounds healthy, which is a, like, Come on, Dean.
But he agrees to, like, stop kicking around in his past when Dean reminds him that his life is on the
It is
line.
always fascinating to me because, like, Dean also spent time in hell.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's probably on purpose that he's not bringing it up. But it's just a little bit... like, is that where the advice is coming from? He's like, I also went to hell.
Yeah, probably.
What do you think has it worse right now? Like Dean who remembers the 40 years or Sam who remembers the 1 week?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's play a competition.
Dean has some distance from
it
it.
worse? Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I don't know how that really plays out.
I think we also just are not sure how acute, like how severe what Sam's memories are. Because I
we
think
saw him burning and screaming. That's
yeah,
about
but
it.
at the beginning of the episode, there seems to be when they're like zooming out of Sam's brain, it was like there was a gate that closed or something. There was like a visual of something passing over, and I was like, is this being locked away again? Like, is the wall sealing that off again? Which I thought was like fascinating.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he remembers that it felt like a week, he probably remembers that moment. So, Dean pulls up the case of the janitor, and they go over to that college lab. Dean's messing around with the mannequin, and it stares at him creepily. Then he
pulls out the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns to Sam and goes, "Be my Valentine," which I love because like this is his just go-to joke whenever he handles a heart of some kind. Because he also says this in My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah.
He thinks he's so funny. And then like when Sam was like, Dean, put it back. Dean goes, "Have a heart." That was one to me personally.
Yeah. Well, Dean gets a call from Lisa and rejects it.
No, that is so rude and mean. And
no, I really
horrible.
don't get it. She says later that she called him like 6 times and he ignored it. Like
why is that?
why?
Because he like, I don't know. It's just I don't like. Is it at some point he was like, if she's rejecting me, I have to twist it in a way where it's my choice and it's my benevolence that is causing this.
I mean, what he tells Ben seems to be just that he realized that it was better for the Bradens if he stayed out of their lives.
Yeah.
So it could just be like eventually she'll stop and move on. But then when she did stop and move on, he came in extremely jealous.
What a horrible scene. I hated it.
No, yeah, they really made decisions about the Dean-Lisa relationship that I didn't really view as parts of the Dean-Lisa relationship.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna go out and fuck a doctor? Ugh.
Well, but then he tells Ben, it's okay, your mom's an adult and she can go out and fuck a doctor.
Yeah. I never want to know what anyone who I was ever involved with, who they're dating now. Not once in my life. So, I just do not understand this impulse of Dean to be like, so who is he? Who wants to know that? No.
I mean, is it not coming from the same emotional place, not wanting to know and wanting to know?
Is it? What emotional place am I coming from, Crystal?
I don't know. What emotional place are you coming from? I think either way, it's like, I will be upset from knowing, but sometimes you want to purposefully upset yourself because you feel like you have more control over the situation if you have the information that upsets you.
Stalk the guy. Just stalk the doctor. You don't have to ask her.
So true. That's a better method. Go do that, Dean.
Yeah.
So, Sam totally clocks that Dean has rejected a call from Lisa, And this starts the thing where this episode he keeps sort of pushing Dean to talk to her in a way that I do think is cute. I think it's nice in a, well, let's stop focusing on my problems and focus on your problems, Dean, way. Yeah, and I think it's supposed to be in contrast to, you know, Soulless Sam's like, yeah. I pretend to care about Lisa and Ben, but I don't. I couldn't care less about them.
Truly an iconic moment.
Yeah, truly an iconic moment. But yeah, no, he's back to the wanting to help Dean emotionally. I think feeling good about knowing that he can create a positive change there. And then also just being a bit teasing like he was with Cassie in season 1. It's cute. But yeah, Sam's like, you should just talk to her. And Dean's like, fuck off. Sam's EMF starts going off really loudly near the mannequin. But they can't really figure out what might be triggering it. They spot a security camera and look at the footage, but it blacks out at the moment the janitor starts freaking out about a few drops coming down his head, and then it just shows up again with him dead on the floor. Meanwhile, there's like a brief scene where Sam has come back from interviewing the janitor's girlfriend, found no dirt on the guy at all. And they also didn't find anything weird about the lab building.
Yeah. Then we go to this, like, the mannequin factory. And there's, like, a guy there who gets killed the same way as earlier.
And he's Asian, I think.
He's Asian. I forgot to say. Oh my god, he is Asian. Wonderful.
Yay!
Love is love.
Sure. Hashtag homophobia.
Why is it homophobic?
Oh, because I said sure. Like that. Yeah. Exact same way, starts with the cut on the head. Like, it's the same pattern.
So Sam and Dean are there. And they're like, wow, it's a mannequin factory. There's a mannequin in the science lab. What? Sam is like, what if they're, like, the same thing? Anyway, Dean is like, he, like, refuses to believe it for a bit. But Sam says, like, you know, like, if ghosts can possess humans or whatever. Can ghosts possess humans?
I think, didn't one possess Sam in Asylum?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, he's saying if ghosts can possess humans, then why cannot a ghost possess a human? So, no.
Mannequin?
He's saying that if ghosts can possess people, then surely they can possess objects. So, but the issue is that they seem to be like in 2 different counties. And that's an issue somehow. What is the
usually
fucking...
don't travel that far from, like, the object or body that they're haunting, I think is supposed to be the point.
Yeah. But, like, what is the radius of that? How did it compare?
I don't know, because it's not, like, a lot of ghosts, like, they end up burning the bodies, and those are sort of far away sometimes. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, what's the radius? And also, is the county line really the... Like, do ghosts respect borders? What's this about?
No, I think Dean's just talking figuratively about them being far away.
So true, maybe. Anyway, it's 3 towns over, is what he says. Well, I mean, they do the thing where, like, when they're doing the maps, like, they figure out the center of all the attacks.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of those are for, like, physical monsters.
Yeah.
So, maybe not. And what Sam says is... Oh, what Dean says is, like, this guy doesn't really have anything on him as well. Like, nothing suspicious. But what they find... What Sam finds is that in the... Like, a year ago, in this town or whatever, there was a lady named Rose Brown who was a seamstress in the mannequin shop. and she just went missing. So they're like, maybe this is a lead. And Sam's like, I'm gonna go talk to her sister Isabel. And then Dean's phone starts ringing for Lisa again. And Sam says, like, why don't you just go, Dean? There's nothing wrong with going, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
oh, no.
No?
Wait, when does he say that? He says that, right?
Well, he says it after Dean answers the phone and it appears to be an emergency.
Okay, so phone starts ringing again. It's Lisa. And Sam tells Dean to answer it. And Dean finally does. And he's like, he answers the phone. He's like kind of mad. It's like, Lisa. But it's not Lisa. It's Ben. And Ben is saying that something is wrong with Lisa. And Dean just needs to come over. And she won't talk to him. And Dean's like, okay, put me on the phone. And Ben's like, I can't. She won't even come to the phone. He's really putting his all in this performance.
Spoilers.
What?
I said spoilers, but as a joke because we always do spoilers. It's fine.
Like, Sam starts arguing that, like, you can just go. Like, I'm not gonna die here or whatever. And the argument Sam says is that I had to deal with my past, and so you have to deal with yours. And Dean is saying, like, that worked out horribly. This is horrible advice. But Sam insists.
Yeah.
So Dean goes.
So
it is
Sam's
horrible advice.
To go? I don't think it's horrible advice. There's a kid calling you saying that he needs help. I don't
think it's a horrible advice, but I think the analogy Sam is using with, like, I had to deal with my past, and now you have to. It's like, what are we doing here, Sam?
I think that, yeah, the situations are not akin to each other. Yeah. But I feel like this is the classic Sam behavior of asking like, somebody projecting. How they feel so he doesn't have to talk about how he feels.
No, I do love that. I always love that. He's like, see, it's just like each other for real. Therefore, I don't have to look at myself at all.
Yep. Good for him. So he goes to interview Isabel, and Isabel really loves Rose, but she says that people often gave her a hard time because she was shy and awkward. She also says that Rose did more for her than anybody else ever could. Parentheses, gave a kidney, but we don't know that yet.
Yeah, she's just being mysterious for now.
Yeah, and she has this photo album that Sam looks through, and there's this company Christmas party photo, and Rose is there. The security guard, who was Asian, who died, is there, and the janitor at the very beginning is also there.
And the janitor and the Asian guy are hugging each other, and I was like, wow, love is love.
So and true.
It is love.
Yeah. And Sam learns that basically everyone in town works at this factory, Saltzman and Sons. So, pretty much everybody around would have known Rose.
I feel like a mannequin factory is too general.
Well, she was also a seamstress. Rose was a seamstress there, right? I don't think it's actually a factory that produces mannequins. I think it's like a clothing factory that they have mannequins to put the model the clothes on or something.
That is... I'm not sure that's true. But it could just be that they need to dress up the mannequins, and so they hired a seamstress.
Is that... But like you ship out mannequins to stores so that they can put their own brand of clothing on them.
Well, sometimes...
who wants a dressed mannequin?
There is a huge variety of mannequins that they're working on.
That's fair. But yeah, I just... Like, what business wants to buy an already clothed mannequin?
That's true. Maybe this does not exist.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what this factory does. Sam calls Dean about this information. The janitor worked at the factory and then quit right after Rose disappeared. So Sam goes back to the factory and interviews a bunch of employees. There's like a fun little montage sequence of him talking to a lot of people. And then we land on somebody named Johnny. And I guess this name is relevant because when the security guard died, he at first thought that Johnny was playing a prank on him. So we know that they know each other.
Yeah.
So Sam asks Johnny about working at the company, about Rose, all of that, and Johnny just gets really scared right away, and he keeps asking, like, why are you asking me this? Blah, blah, blah. And he keeps trying to cut the interview short. And Sam just goes, you seem nervous, Johnny.
Yeah.
And he says, like, well, I'm upset because the guys who died were my friends. And Sam goes, I didn't
Not
say upset. I
said
said nervous. He thinks he's so cool. Very fun. Yeah, and then he gives Johnny his card. Dean rings Lisa's doorbell, and she opens the door, looking wonderful. She's wearing a black dress, like an evil demon lady.
Of course.
Does she have sparkly earrings or something?
I think she has hoops going on.
Okay. She has earrings, her hair is up. Wonderful. And she's shocked that Dean is here. And Dean goes, well, you look absolutely fine. And he realizes that Ben has parent trapped them.
I do think this is fun. Like,
yeah.
Like, it puts Ben front and center in this dynamic. Which is something that they talk about a lot. That's like the reason they're staying together and the reason why it works out is because Dean is good to Ben and like Ben likes him. And like, is this the first time we hear Ben like talk in any way meaningful?
Possibly.
No.
He has the like, I want to shoot guns like you did at my age conversation with Dean, and Dean goes, no, you'll never shoot guns like I did at your age, Ben. So that was one. Do they mention Dean shoving them at any point this episode?
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, isn't Lisa like, Ben doesn't even talk about it like as a big issue?
Yeah, like it was like something that deeply hurt him.
Or it could be like
he's over it.
I think there is also the interpretation that like Ben just didn't want to talk about it with Lisa because Lisa is upset about it and he still wanted Dean to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I understand Ben wanting Dean to come back, even if he was deeply hurt by the Dean shoving.
Yeah, and he does say later, like, just apologize and come back. Like, I don't understand why that can't be the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I guess I just thought that that was a bigger part of the problem than this episode makes it out to be. Ben parent trapped them because Lisa's going out on a date. And they talk in her kitchen.
Not only a date, on a third date.
Yeah.
It's a little bit wild.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben says, I know what happens on third dates. I've seen TV. Like, who are you? A Hamlet? Like, calm down. Like, I don't think them fucking is necessarily a precursor to, like, emotional intimacy and him moving into your life in that way.
Yeah.
So they go to the kitchen, and Dean immediately starts, like, not tearing into Lisa, but, like, being jealous and weird. When I assumed this dynamic would start with him apologizing. I guess there's an interpretation where he's just trying to push her away, but I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's
showed
true.
up.
Yeah.
I think this is just him. Yeah. So, Dean asks, so, who's the guy? And Lisa is sort of so done with it. But she says that his name is Matt and he's a doctor. And he goes, "Oh, Dr. Matt, how respectable."
And Lisa goes, that's not what this is about.
Yeah, she just goes, that's how this is gonna be.
I like that line. Like, because Dean saying, "Wow, so respectable," is a dig at himself. Mm-hmm. And so Lisa being like, that's the argument you're gonna make. It's like, I like that because it is never about that. Like, Lisa has never treated Dean as somehow like having a not respectable job or anything. The thing is, like, Lisa's argument for why Dean can't be there anymore, it's not because he's a hunter specifically, or is it? It's because he can't manage. I mean, like, her arguments were always like, if Sam wasn't around.
Well, but this time she just goes, "I'm worried that you'll die."
Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose at this point it is being a hunter.
Yeah. Which isn't what she was like earlier in the season.
Went before. I feel like a little bit like the narrative is like trying to paint the relationship as something else to try to justify what's happening and what's happened already. And it just doesn't fly that well.
Yeah.
Like, I did feel like, this conversation is this really who they are? Is this what we have been presented with in the past?
I think maybe after Lisa had the, like, you can go out and be a hunter and then come back to us when you have time. Like, there's, like, a shot of her face after Dean leaves. Like, maybe we were supposed to read that as she didn't actually mean any of that. She hates this.
Yeah, probably. Like, that's a compromise that is just a little bit too far already.
Yeah. So, but, like, I don't know. It's, like, okay. I guess that is how it is. You know, they have the whole, like, why didn't you pick up? Well, I almost called you 100 times, and she goes, good to know. And then he's like, well, I came here as soon as Ben called me, even though he rejected, like, 20 of Ben's calls earlier that day, I think. And he's like, so I actually really do care about you. And she says, doesn't help me. Which I do like. I really do like the way that she approaches this argument. And she tells Dean that she's not asking for anything. And Dean says, well, then ask for something. Which I also like.
I also like that
why.
one.
It was nice.
I also like, because, like, I think there is an argument to be made about how Lisa, in her, you know, like, you can do both of these things, Dean. You can live a double life or whatever. And, like, you know, condoning and, like, allowing for that to happen. That Dean feels like if she just asked fully, then I can commit fully. But she's not asking that of me.
Like, you think if Lisa asked him to give up hunting, he would?
Like, if he gave an ultimatum, I think there's a chance that he would have tried a little bit harder.
Probably not now with the alphas in purgatory, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Dean has, like, this thing about being needed and whatever. And so, I suppose if, like, Lisa needed him just a little bit more and, like, asked things of him.
The world?
No, like, just in general.
Need him a little bit, more than she currently does.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, and then Ben comes down into the room and they both shout, go to your room, in unison, which is a cute moment. And Lisa tells Dean that she can't ask for something because she knows what she wants, but it can't happen with Dean's lifestyle. And I guess she's not willing to ask him to give that up. And she says that she's had such a hard time with this entire relationship because every time her phone rings, she's afraid that it's Sam telling her that Dean has died. Just remember Dean's fuck-ass letter to Ben that he wanted the doctor to send if he died.
No. And it's not even to Lisa.
Yeah. And Lisa says that she's gone through this pattern where she, like, is okay, and then every time she's okay, Dean shows up at the door, and that he keeps doing that every time she thinks she's never gonna see him again. So
I feel like that's only, and then they do the montage later to be like, and these are the times.
Okay, so the times. Okay, I'm assuming that she didn't have a whole having to get over Dean after their summer of love thing, so I don't think the kids are alright counts. But
yeah.
Okay, they did have an emotional moment there, and then he left, so that's one. He comes back to warn her about how he's gonna say yes to Michael.
Yeah.
And she thinks he's gonna die for sure, that's two. Then I guess he comes back after Sam dies, stays for a year, and then leaves to hunt. That's three. But she did think that he was coming back from that one. Like, he promised. They were still calling. So, okay, so we're at 2.5. And then he comes as a vampire and shoves her in Ben. And then she thinks that he's not going to come back. So we're at 3.5. I guess that is kind of a lot. Sorry, Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she says that she's trying to get over him. What are you trying to do? What do you want from us? And then we just cut back to the case.
Yeah. And on the case, like, Johnny is, like, on the phone going, like, oh, like, the feds are on us, and I'm nervous because Dave and Steve are dead, and blah, blah, blah. And as he hangs up, he gets the same fucking wound on his forehead as everyone else. But he doesn't die because Sam comes in and, like, salts the place or something.
Yeah. He pulls him off to a separate room and then, salt lines all of it.
He salts the fucking place. And he explains to this guy that, like, there's a ghost trying to kill him. And Sam goes like, oh, thank God you're so fucking suspicious. So I figured it out. And he asks, like, you have to tell me what you did to Rose because she's attacking you. And so the guy explains, and we get this scene through flashback. And I was terrified about what they were going to say.
Yeah, because I feel like the assumption anyone would make watching this episode is gang rape and murder. Yeah. But it's much chiller than that. And I'm surprised that did the writers know that is what everybody would assume would happen? So then, now that it's not that, this guy seems more sympathetic, so we're more okay with Sam trying to save him?
I think they worked backwards, is what I think. Like, like they thought, oh, the conclusion to this whole affair with the flashback would be that there's a ghost trying to kill multiple people. But who gets killed is the one innocent person involved.
Yeah.
And then
and
they,
also
like,
a lot backwards. Of the people involved who weren't innocent.
Yeah. So, like, I think they went backwards with that. And it is a way to, like, because, you know, Sam and Dean at the end are like, well, that wasn't a win, was it? Like, not close enough.
Yeah.
And, like, if it was as severe as what it looked like initially it would be, like, that would just not make sense. Like, they wouldn't just be like, kind of sucky that turned out like that, right? Like, they would be like, no, we did a really bad thing.
Yeah, we should have let her finish first.
Yeah.
True.
What they say is that Rose is kind of pathetic and like never have gone out on a date. And so they tricked her into thinking that somebody was like interested in her and told her that like, come to this place and meet me here. And so she went, and there's like a man sitting on a table, but she touched his shoulder and he's a mannequin. And they all just come out and laugh and like, ha ha ha, so funny. And like Sam was like, what the fuck is this? And the guy goes, you know how guys are when they're all together? Wild.
Wild. Hope that's not true. It often is, though.
It really often is. Rose is just mad at them and goes, go to hell. And she turns around to start walking away. And one of the guys is like, hey, it's just a joke, come on. But as he grabs her hand and she struggles away, she like slips and falls over. And her head like gets broken open by the edge of a table.
I wouldn't say broken open. It looks like the injury was only to the skin.
That's kind of true.
Like, it's a very small... I mean, it's
like
not a very small forehead cut, but it's not one that looks like it could kill you in any way whatsoever.
Yeah. Like, it's not really, like, explicitly fatal.
Yeah.
They definitely could have saved her if they just called the fucking ambulance.
But is the... Yeah, no, I don't know. They sort of gloss over it. Like, it seemed like they were portraying her as being dead upon impact, which I don't think is true, like, just based off of the makeup.
Yeah. Like,
but, like, they
also...
also...
like, checked her pulse or something.
Yeah, they just don't really do
do
anything regarding the pulse checking or saying that, like she was close to not dying, but then we, like, killed her the rest of the way and buried her to cover it up. Like, it seemed like they were portraying her as being dead upon impact. Oh, yeah. Which one?
I forgot the name, though. There's, like, a kid
Omori?
who, like, pushes... Yes, that one. Just like Omori.
I think that's a spoiler. I'm not sure, actually. It might not be.
I mean, it was told to me as like, you're never gonna play this game, so it's fine to tell you. So, sorry to everyone who's getting spoiled.
We could just cut it out.
No, it's inside. It's inside.
I don't think this, like, Rose may have been killed like an Omori is that important. Of a sentence. Just like my half-brother joke about the kite runner and the label family wasn't that important, but now everyone's spoiled on the kite runner.
We also spoiled Succession, but everyone knew about that.
What did we spoil about Succession?
Like,
nothing ever happens on
Logan
Succession.
Died. Like, we made a joke about Logan dying the week Logan died.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, everyone knew that guy was going.
If you are listening to our podcast, you know what happens in Succession. So,
yeah, even if you don't watch it.
Literally. Just like Severance, I think.
I haven't said anything about it. Okay, PSA 204, everyone says that it was written well. It wasn't. Not all bottle episodes are good just because they're bottle episodes and they're weird. Get over yourself, Ben Stiller and Dan Erickson. Anyway, yeah.
Hell yeah. That was a bit. I was waiting you to say something about it, and now you did.
Yeah. Also, this is coming out after 205 is out, so if 205 is good, I'm sorry, and I don't hate Severance. But currently I do.
When does it come out, everyone?
Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Oh, so like my Friday morning, I think.
Yeah. Though, I mean, I'm not gonna see it immediately, because it's on Apple TV, which is a paid... service.
I have Apple TV. I can watch it. I can put it on and
then
stream your and I can FaceTime you to show you the screen. of what
Yeah,
I'm
I
watching.
don't think I'll watch it until Friday, though. Also, Blank is probably never going back based off of an interview I watched last night. I misinterpreted a line as meaning something, but I think it means something else. Whatever. Who
is
give
Blank?
a fuck? I said Blank.
Oh, Blank. Okay.
Who give a single fuck? Not me.
He's dead for good. Spoiler.
Don't wait. That's a spoiler. Don't say that.
I think he's blank for blank.
I think that he is the part that's
Blank is blank for blank.
Ugh,
Well.
whatever. Anyway, add me at I Hate Severance on Peach. You can probably tell who I am because my profile picture is a white square with the words I Hate Severance in caps on it, and my name written on Peach is Crystal Hates Severance. So, yeah, hit me up.
Important. Supernatural didn't even get that privilege. Crystal just watched SVN.
Yeah.
Crystal didn't hate it.
Yeah, I don't care enough about Supernatural to hate it.
Yeah, and that's
Like,
the vital
it
part about
can't
it.
betray me because I never
Yeah.
trusted it.
So true.
Okay, and everyone who thinks that I don't like the episode just because blank is blank for blank, it's not that. It's that the season 2 pacing has been bad, and episode 4 was their chance to turn it around, and they dropped the ball. Anyway.
Yeah, lava ball dropping. Wow.
The weight and heft.
The weight and he doesn't say the weight and heft.
What does he say? The heft
It says the heft and the... Maybe
And
he
the-
does say the weight and the heft.
I don't know. This is called Piece of Mind Supernatural Transcript.
It's the heft and the shape. The shape and the heft.
That sounds right, but let's see what the transcript says. Yep, it's the shape and the heft. I'm sorry for
Love a
misquoting
shape
you, Cassiel.
Well,
Of a ball dropping.
so she's now on the ground. Somebody tries to call the cops. The other guy's like, we can't do that. We need to bury her. And so they do. They definitely killed this woman. Like there's some hand washing that happens as Sam talks to Johnny, where he's like, I didn't kill her.
Wait, okay, Steve says that he shouldn't call the police because it would count as involuntary manslaughter if she was just on her way to die. And also, wouldn't they be calling the ambulance and not the police if she was still alive? I think she is supposed to be dead already. Like, he would call it assault that he was worried about being arrested for, not involuntary manslaughter. So I don't think they directly killed her after she fell.
Really?
Yeah.
I think there is some acknowledgement that it looks really bad because they go like, the cops are not going to believe us even that this is what we did. So Sam is like, wow, I can't believe that you won't even admit that you're part of it. Look me in the eye and tell me none of it's on you. And then he just goes, look, I'm not saying you deserve to die. But maybe he dies. I don't know. Anyway,
I wouldn't say that.
Sam argues that, like, just stay in the circle. I'm gonna go burn the body. Just stay there.
Johnny goes, you just want me to stand here all night, even though he was previously sitting and there's multiple tables and chairs in the room.
And there's
Like-
literally a fucking floor.
Sam should have said, no, I want you to sit there all night, but no, he just goes. Back at Lisa's, Dean goes over to talk to Ben, who's playing Plants vs. Zombies on his phone. Throwback. Ben says that he called Dean because it was an emergency, because this was Lisa's third date with the doctor, and he knows what that means. Dean has a moment of like, ugh. But yeah, he tells Ben, like, you know, your mom's an adult.
Don't be a
like,
weirdo.
She gets to live her own life. And Ben asks, why won't you come home? Can't you just say I'm sorry and then come back? And Dean says that he can't and won't. Ben starts wondering if he did something wrong to make Dean leave. And Dean's like, no, that's not true. Except he doesn't say it in that way. He says it in, like, the gruffest, machoist, glaring voice ever. Which I guess is him trying to drive home a point. But I don't know if that actually works with what you're trying to go for with Ben emotionally.
Yeah.
But yeah, he says, like, you didn't do anything. And, you know, you'll understand this when you're older. But Ben tells him to not talk down to him. So Dean just says, well, just because you love someone doesn't mean you should stick around and screw up their life. And the worry isn't that a monster will follow him home, but that his job turns him into somebody that can't sit at their dinner table. And if he stayed, Ben would end up just like him. Quit your job. Or something.
What?
I said quit your job or something.
I hate that, like, Ben, you're gonna become a hunter like me. If you ever touch a gun, a very common thing that people do in the United States.
It's true, they're often doing that in the United States. Like, yeah, I just don't, like, okay, we had, like, that one moment when Ben was like, I want to be a hunter like you. And Dean's like, no. I don't think it's a given that Ben will end up just like him. Else, I don't know. My job turns me into somebody who can't sit at your dinner table. Like, I don't know. I feel like that would have worked better if we so literally like a vampire. So true on that one. I don't know. Like, we saw Dean, like, calling Ben, like, while he was going off on hunts with Sam, and, like, he was fine. It just doesn't really ring particularly true to me. Like, the only time he came back while he was out hunting was when he was a vampire. And yeah, that does turn him into somebody who can't sit at their dinner table, but, like, I'm not seeing any other proof. He had this conversation with Lisa in the kitchen, and, like, he was a bit of a dick about it, but I also don't think that's because of hunting. Like, nothing he's done here has really proven that being a hunter makes him incapable of being a good dad or boyfriend. Like, Lisa's thing about just constantly being afraid that he'll die when he's out on a hunt, like, that makes sense. But, like, his, like, I can't act right anymore because sometimes I kill monsters. Like, I don't think so.
Yeah. And there is a way that this is presented to us as if, like, it's the painful truth. Which is like...
And Ben's like, I don't think being like you is that bad. And he's like, you don't get a choice in this matter. I'm gonna go, and then you can live whatever life you want. And Ben goes, you're a liar, Dean!
Love it.
The precocious child character. Love to see it, hate to see it. And Ben's like, you care about family so much, but we're your family because we care for you and love you, and you're leaving. Yeah, and then we cut to the next scene, but Dean literally does leave.
And he is, say it after me, going to an AMV as he's leaving.
Yeah.
It is incredible and so fucking funny.
Does that happen after this? Right after? When? Because the transcript doesn't say when the AMV happens. Okay, so Dean's driving and there's some song playing. I don't know what it is. It's some sad song. Not the sad piano, a different sad song. And it's literally just replays of, like, scenes that have been shown on Supernatural, the TV show. Like, it's not even from different angles or anything.
No, but, like, I love it because they were like, let's put the scenes that have the same situation going on together. And that's
door opens, etc.
Yeah.
And it just comes back to Dean driving, looking sad between each of them, and this goes on forever.
You know how Ben was like, you know, we're family because we love you, and you're walking away from your family. We know that's not true because they don't play the family theme.
Funniest scene in the entire world. Yeah, meanwhile, Sam, who's been told by Johnny where Rose's body is, goes and burns it, and then he calls Johnny and he's like, "You're safe now. Don't be a dumbass or a jackass anytime in your future." So Johnny's in his apartment and he's gonna pack up and leave
above
town.
a bar.
Yes. What we see is Isabel enter a pub, and then briefly after that, Johnny go up to his apartment, which is right over it. He's gonna pack up, he's gonna leave town, and he's telling somebody, like, "Honey, we're leaving tonight. We need to move on with our lives. I love you." And then the camera pans over and he's talking to a sex doll.
Yeah. Oh, that's a sex doll.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was just some doll. Doesn't have to be sexual in nature.
Dean says sex doll later.
Yeah, but I thought he was just being weird.
No.
When he said that.
No, he was admitting that he fucked his car.
What if it's the love of his life doll, Crystal?
Those two aren't completely inseparable.
That's
just like
true.
Baby is the love of Dean's life and he also fucks that car.
That is very true. Yeah, I feel like this was like what are we even doing here? And like, I understand that the point is that, oh, by the way, this like sex doll like
kills
turns
him.
its
Yeah.
head and then like kills this guy. But like, I feel like it was like just say like for shock value, oh, this guy has a sex doll.
Yeah. I think it's both oh look, there's something in his apartment that the ghost could possess. And then there's this guy's a loser.
Yeah. I didn't know that they made sex dolls that were full.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you haven't watched Elementary.
Wow.
Wait,
You know, I've been thinking
also
about
House MD.
Is there really?
House MD. Yeah, there's the guy whose like ex was a yoga instructor, and something about like the bidet or something he was using was giving him like problems, and he had this neighbor who was really nice and really liked him, but like he had this sex doll that was built like his ex, and like he was, and like you're supposed to sort of feel like sympathy for him for his loneliness and all that, but then his neighbor asks him out and he's not interested, and then he asks, who's the rich doctor who house meets in the prison hospital, who's in like the last season, like Adams or something?
Yeah.
But then the guy tries to ask her out even though they don't have a connection at all. And then it's like, oh, he's been shallow all along and we shouldn't have felt bad for him and his loneliness with his sex doll girlfriend. And that's like the episode. You remember this?
No, absolutely
No?
not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Yeah, my friend Arya.
Hasn't gotten there yet.
No. She's in the cancer arc.
Oh, she's getting there then.
And I'm like, how are you doing? As if she has the cancer, which is so important. Also, in terms of your elementary, I have been thinking, why shouldn't we do an elementary podcast?
It's pretty propagandish.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Well, we have a supernatural comment.
We have, okay, but they're not directly
different.
cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, I don't know, Elementary has a lot of episodes. But I think they do have a pretty robust transcript collection, which is helpful.
I thought we were gonna do it after, like Doctor
Oh,
Who.
no, yeah. That's true.
If we do Doctor Who, we'll be doing that truly forever.
Well, I thought we were only
really
gonna
forever.
do the doctors that we like, or the companions that we like.
Who are even?
It just means that we're skipping 11, that's it.
Why do we not like 11?
I just find him annoying, personally.
11 is after David Tennant, so it's Matt
Smith, correct.
Smith, yeah.
It's just Moffat's era of, like, Moffating out the most, I think.
But people also say that 12 doesn't have a good situation.
People can say whatever they believe about
people
the world.
People will say they're not in love, even.
Yeah. I mean, okay, there are issues with 12's arc, but I really think that, like, his seasons are quite, like, tight. I think Bill's season is a little more messily written, but it's fine because she's so charming and charismatic.
So, Sam goes to Isabel's place to see, like, what other stuff Rose might have. And, Isabel, like, basically hands him a box and says that, like, oh, I sold her clothes to Goodwill, she didn't have many things. Sam figures out in a way that I can't really comprehend that she is, like, in university.
He sees, like, a stack of chem textbooks in her apartment.
He figures out that she was in the lab where the janitor died. And she was in the factory. Does she work in the factory?
Yeah, she works in the factory.
Okay, so she's in the factory, and she was at a bar last night. And Sam realized that, like, it's all you. Like, something is attached to you. Like, what are you wearing of hers? What do you have of her? Isabel just goes, like, the only thing I have of her is a part of me. When I was 16, she gave me one of her kidneys. And I was cheering. I was clapping. Mm-hmm. I was going,
that is
woohoo!
Fun.
It's very fun. I do hate that the solution is to just kill this woman.
Kill her. I mean,
there's gotta be another way.
I mean, that wasn't the solution they were going for. It just happened so they could wrap the episode up cleanly while going, wow, what a bummer.
Yeah, I think I would try getting a blessing from a priest.
Uh-huh.
Haven't they ever tried, like, something else? I think it's always salt and burn, right?
Well, this time they said that they were gonna do, like, a temporary hoodoo thing.
Yeah. But they did explicitly say that, like, it's not gonna last her long. But, you know, maybe it will. I don't remember if we ever explore this again in future episodes.
I think they could have just asked her to move.
That is also what I was thinking. Like, never associate with these people ever again. Never go here again.
Yeah. Though I guess if she learns what happened to her sister, if he gives her the full details, she might be like, no, I'm staying until she gets all of them.
Literally. And that is also something that I found, like, when Sam was burning the body, all I can think of is, like, she still has a sister who is looking for her.
Yeah, I mean, Sam came by as a Fed, presumably as a, we're reopening the case.
Yeah.
Like, she probably had some kind of hope regarding answers, and even if they had solved it the way they normally do, I don't think they would have told her. Like, she would have just been left disquieted, having been roused from despair, and then put back to sleep.
Yeah. But
which I guess sort of just happens often in Supernatural episodes. Sorry to all the loved ones of the dead people. Sam tells Isabel, I'll tell you what this is about as long as you come with me. And then he drives her over to, like, some fucking gas station or whatever where Dean pulls up in his Impala, and then the two of them are just standing outside, like, discussing things. Like, I know she thinks that they're feds, but, like, wow. This, no survival instinct. Sorry to Isabel that this happened.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Sam and Dean are talking about what they can possibly do. And, like, you know, they can't take out the kidney and burn it because she needs it. But, like, they also can't, like, take it out of her. Dean thinks, like, maybe, like, Dr. Robert could get her a replacement kidney.
But I love the bit here where they talk about the Dr. Robert. Because, like, Sam was like, it's so dirty because it's above a butcher. And Dean was like, no, actually, it's very clean. And I was like, wow, he came around.
Yeah. He sure
love
did.
is love.
Sure. Yep. Stopped his heart in more ways than one. Yeah, Sam says that they should try hoodoo, but Dean says that's more of a band-aid, not really a cure. And we don't really know what it is that they're planning, because Isabel has at this point come out of the car and been like, what are you talking about? You're not feds. Yeah. And just as they have to explain themselves, the Impala
starts
turns on.
Because it's it is a representation of a person, is what it is.
Of what, Dean's girlfriend?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and Dean starts going, no. She possesses sex dolls. This is not a sex doll. Keep saying it, Dean. Maybe I'll believe you in a few years. And then the Impala starts driving at them, trying to run them over. Sam tries to get Isabel away. And then Dean tricks the Impala into running into a wall.
Yeah, and he goes, sorry, baby, or something before it, like, hits the wall.
So it shatters a bunch of glass, and Dean turns around, and one of the shards of glass, but only one, has just perfectly stabbed Isabel somehow directly in the kidney.
Yeah.
But from the front, not the back.
Yeah.
Yep.
She dies. R.I.P.
Well, Rose's ghost shows up.
Yeah.
And she goes, sorry, I didn't mean for this.
My
and then she just burns up because she ghost killed herself.
No, because the kidney has been killed.
But it hasn't been salted and burned.
Yeah. The concept of a salt and burn is nebulous in Supernatural, as we have previously discussed.
Okay. So, it's because the kidney was punctured?
Yeah, it was destroyed.
Alright.
I don't even know. Maybe she just...
Why not?
Go suicided.
Yeah. So yeah, she burns up, and Isabel's dead. R.I.P.
R.I.P. I do feel bad for them, and you're supposed to. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Sorry to these two people whose life got fucking destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Sam and Dean are now at the fucking scrapyard. And Dean's fixing the car. And, Dean is like, what the hell was that? And Sam says, yeah, I don't know. I'm not putting it in the win column either. And Dean says, we saved a few dicks. And we killed an innocent girl. I got a heartbroken kid and a woman who's so pissed at me. I see what you mean about facing your past. It's awesome. Thanks. How is that facing your past? The first one.
Yeah, the first part doesn't seem very related to facing your past.
Yeah.
Like, does he really think that the Lisa situation is a bigger deal than how he caused that woman's death?
And it just pissed me off that, like,
a woman who's so pissed at me is not how I would describe Lisa.
Also, like, I just hate that it's like, Sam, you may have killed many innocent people. You may have been really reckless with your hunting in a way that put people at risk. And, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And you may have fucking, terrorized entire communities. But Lisa's so mad at me for so equal in this way. It pisses me off. And I know Sam is the one who started it. But it's just fucking annoying to hear. Like, Sam has an entire year and a half or something of his life that he does not remember. And he is on the verge of dying every single day. I same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. But Sam is like, you know what? We still save lives every now and then.
I don't understand why Sam's taking the position he takes for the rest of this conversation.
Yeah, who even knows what anyone does in this thing? And Sam says bad luck is in the job description, and it's not all bad, really. Look at me. I mean, at least Satan's left the building. And I have a soul because of you. I never thanked you for that, did I? Corny. And Dean thought so too. And Dean says, you would have done the same for me. And Sam just says, like, let's just keep our head down.
Whatever we face, we're going to face it on our own terms, and no matter what, we're going to do it together.
And no matter what, we have each other's back. And no matter what,
we're brothers. And no matter what, we're family.
I mean, I am a little bit glad that they're back to, like, season 5 shenanigans of, like...
Stupid as fuck. Okay, what I don't get is that at the end of season 5, Sam's like, I'm gonna die now, and your promise to me is that you're gonna go back to Lisa and Ben, and you're gonna live a normal civilian life and not hunt anymore. And, like, now, like, in this situation, he's like, Dean, no, it's okay. Hunting's amazing. Like, what are we doing?
Like, I think he's just trying to comfort Dean because that's never gonna work out. So he's like, whatever.
He just thinks that he can't get Lisa and Ben back anymore.
Yeah. And he's like, I can't just keep harping on this. I think he's gonna get even more depressed. So now we're here.
Maybe so.
Well,
but
what did we think about this episode?
It wasn't very good.
I loved it. But I can also, you have to remember, I'm also saying things recreationally, so we never know.
And you love a case.
I honestly...
Not this one.
I have, like, because I love case episodes, as I constantly say every single episode. This one, I think because they're separated for a majority of it, I have, like, less enjoyment. Because for me, like, the point of the case episode is to see the dynamics of the people in it. And, like, you know, like, one of my favorite episodes of all time is Ouroboros. And the reason why is because it's so many people, and they're all just doing a case. And it's so fun to see the dynamics of Cass and Dean and Sam and Rowena and Jack trying to do a case. And, like, here, because, like, most of the time Sam is alone doing the case, it's like, whatever. So
I see.
That's my situation. And you know what? I did find hilarious the scenes where Dean is running away from the car. This is more effective to me comedically than whatever it was they were doing a couple episodes ago.
With the sword and the stone?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like if they were gonna do a Dean can't quit the hunting life to be with Lisa and Ben, and Sam encourages him to stay, like, we should have gotten a little more purgatory or alpha stuff this episode. Because, like, that's the reason that they have to stay in the game, because the world is at risk. But, like, we just haven't had that for 2 episodes, so it just feels off.
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot about it, even. Well, best line, worst line. My best line is, I don't think plants can kill zombies. I love Plants vs. Zombies, and I'm so fascinated that it was a phone game, and it is still, I think.
Yeah.
Because, like, I didn't have a smartphone growing up, so Plants vs. Zombies is evidently a laptop
a browser
or a PC game.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. Let's see. I guess my best line is, you know, the end of when Dean goes like, if you want to know if I care, and Lisa says, it doesn't help me. And he says, what do you want from me? I'm not asking for anything. Well, then ask for something. Yeah.
I
I
do
liked
like
it.
the idea that like just because Dean thought about it, that doesn't count. Thinking about it doesn't count. Love that.
Worst line.
Worst line. I don't like that the whole reason why they were picking on Rose was because she was like awkward or something. Like, I don't know. Do people actually do that?
Yeah.
Why? People are so mean.
Yeah. I guess my worst line is because we just didn't really get it. His whole, like, my job turns me into someone who can't sit at your dinner table or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I would say maybe my worst line is just Ben going, "We're family." Don't like it.
Alright. Spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets. Okay.
Okay, the thing about the misogyny is that I think there is an argument for zero, which feels weird. How do you feel?
I think there is an argument for zero.
Okay, should we go for it?
Yeah.
Alright. Racism. They mention hoodoo briefly, but I feel like they don't go far enough into it for me to know if they were talking about it in an insensitive way.
Deculination guy. I don't think that counts.
Zero. Homophobia. Also zero. Whoa.
Wow.
First zero of the season.
Oh my god, that's so wonderful. And we're at episode 14. Which means I'm gonna have to guess first. I'm assuming this has a low score for reasons that I may not know. I would say this is a 7.9.
Okay, I was thinking lower at a 7.5. I'm just gonna make big swings. That's just gonna be my life.
Let's see.
What?
It's 7.4.
Yeah! Yeah! Yay!
What are we looking at now?
I think I'm winning now.
You're winning.
I'm winning now.
This is
Yay! 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 Okay.
hate everything.
Love everything.
This one says that Dean actually shows a level of maturity with Ben. True, I guess.
True, I guess.
Um,
Yeah, okay. First one says that they... Plus, no ghost in its right mind would mess with Impala. Why does she always have to suffer?
Wait, this
Dean
is
coded.
season 6, episode 14, by the way. This is 6 years into the show. This review says, after a slow start, Supernatural is starting to hit its stride.
No, about this episode?
Using the old horror/revenge storyline, the viewer has an old school Supernatural episodes. Maybe they're talking about season 6.
Maybe.
Attacking mannequins is creepy and funny. I like the idea of using old horror movie plots.
I think they are just talking about this episode.
This calls the Dean and Lisa subplot soap opera style. I cannot see Dean with the family, and I hope they drop the subplot.
I think the show is trying to add a love interest. Trying to add... You're right. Up until this point, Lisa and Dean weren't romantically involved at all.
Yeah.
Well, the subplot will probably be a theme for the entire season. It's been a theme for the entire season. We're over halfway through. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this person calls it one of the very worst episodes, but they say that one of the best lines in Supernatural is the Plants vs. Zombies one.
They're on my side. They're on my side.
Wow, this one says this is the worst episode of the entire show. Strong words. Okay, well, that's it for this episode of Busty Asian Beauties. Next week, we will be discussing Season 6, Episode 15. Would you like to take a guess?
Is that the French mistake?
Yeah!
I'm sorry. They dropped the purgatory plot on 612, and then they don't mention it for at least 3 episodes.
It's part of the French mistake.
What is I know part of it in that it's like, oh, we have to hide you away because some shit's happening, but like they're not involved in any of it.
Yeah. This is oh my god. Are you excited?
Not really. I'm mostly just shocked at the horrible pacing. Maybe Severance Season 2 is fine.
No, the season is so fucked up. Well,
so, okay, they come back from hiatus, and the first episode they're like, oh my god, Purgatory, oh my god, Eve. And then they do 3 episodes in a row that are completely unrelated, 2 of which are like comedy, basically.
Yes. Well,
do we get back to it after that? What's after that?
And then They Were None, I think, is after this.
Is that related? Is that the one where Rufus dies? Well, that sucks.
I'm not gonna answer your question.
Okay, yeah, no, that's where the Campbells come back and there's this big
Christ.
hunt.
Sorry. Next,
and then they all die,
Rufus, right? And then after that, it's the fucking Titanic episode.
What is Season 6 even?
What are they doing?
What are they trying to do or say?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just feel like we were pretty solidly on the Alphas plot the first half.
I feel like when we get to The Man Who Would Be King, we would be like, where the fuck did this come from?
Well, okay, well, we have like Mommy Dearest or whatever, right? Yeah. Coming up at 6.
Yeah, it's 18? The one with the beheading and like
the
blood splatter.
Yeah, being come on. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so after that we have
we're gonna
Mommy
get
Dearest.
Good old-fashioned queer bait.
And then we have 619, which is the one where demons kidnap Lisa and Ben. Mm-hmm. And then we have Man Who Would Be King. And then we have, like, God's Ciel Arc. Yeah. Why didn't they throw any of these funny ones in the first half? I guess they were like, it won't work with Soulless Sam?
I don't know.
Well, stupid. Anyway.
Leave us a rating or review.
Also, I didn't mean that Severance Season 2 is still bad. Anyway. Follow us on social media. We are on Tumblr at bustyasianbeautiespod.tumblr.com. Our official tag is badpod, BABpod. Thanks to everyone who's donated to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/bustyasianbeautiespod, which is where our outtakes live, and check out our merch at badpod.redbubble.com.
You can email us any feedback, comments, or inquiries at bustyasianbeautiespod@gmail.com. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye! Also, Ben Stiller, why do you have to reply to everybody criticizing your show on Blue Sky with a snarky little comment like, are you that insecure? Like, is it a marketing ploy? You can just log off. You just keep saying in interviews that the difference between, like, doing season 1 and season 2 is that in season 2 you knew that a lot of people were watching and like waiting for it to be good, and that's why like the creators even brought back the goats, because they didn't have any plans for them, and then everyone wanted to know, oh, what's up with the goats, so then you brought them back and you had to hire Gwendolyn Christie to do Mammalians Nurturable, and for what? I didn't want to know about the goats, and if you didn't have a plan for the goats, you don't have to bring back the goats. Like, it just seems like you're making so many decisions based off of having an audience now and wanting people to write think pieces, or like Severance season 2 episode 3 explained, or whatever. And like, I just think that makes your show worse. Get over yourself. By you, I'm also including Dan Erickson. I know both of you are heavily involved. You're just the one who talks more in the podcast, which is bad. Not that it's bad that you talk more in the podcast is the thing that is bad. And Dylan and Irving didn't even fuck nasty. Once. Not that that's a big part of my critique.
Hello.
Hi! How's it going?